Hi everyone, I'm Syamantak, and welcome back to the Spelling Bee Workshop series. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a couple different words and just working through a little bit of Latin. There are many different ways words can be spelled in Latin, and I'll just go over a couple of the consonant and vowel groupings that you might see commonly. But before that, let's take a look at a bit of an interesting observation, which is you'll often find parallels between different languages that you really might not have been expecting before. So let's take a look at this nutrition label on this bottle of hot sauce. At the back, it has the calorie rating. You might be familiar with this. It's basically the amount of energy that's stored within a particular food. But what you might not know is that calories are actually a unit of heat. In essence, how much heat energy can you generate from a certain amount of this substance? The word calorie comes to English from Latin. Now let's take a look at the salsa bottle. Over here it says salsa caliente. In Spanish, caliente means hot. You might notice that the first three letters of caliente and calorie are the same. They're both derived from the same Latin root for heat, calor. So over here, if we go to an example of some sounds that you might see in Latin and some ways that they're spelled. On the left here I have the S sound, the S. There are quite a few ways that you can spell it, but the patterns are somewhat different. For example, you would use the spelling of S in a word like glycogenesis, where glyc means sugar, like glycogen and glucose, and genesis is creation, so you're basically creating sugars. That S, both of the S's, are spelled with an S. In ostensible, you also have S's for the S sound. Ostensible means capable of being shown. Centripetal, centripetal, cinereal, cinereous, and incinerate, all are spelled with C, though, instead of the S. Centripetal has to do with a center, which you can break it down to that root word if you can identify what exactly is happening in that word. One of the advantages of a language like Latin is that the end words in English are often composed of puzzle pieces, the prefixes, suffixes, and combining forms that join together to make the words that we use. Cinereal has to do with cinere, burning. Incinerate means to burn something. Cinereal means it looks like it's been burned already, so you have ashes now. The next spelling is slightly different. The S sound could be spelled with an SC, like in scintillate and reminiscent. And then you can also have an SS, like the middle in susaltatory. It's a bit of a confusing word because you spell the S sound in two different ways, just in one word. The beginning S has only one S, and the middle S sound has two S's. Susaltatory means characterized by large up and down vibrations, used to describe an earthquake. The next word, succussory, has a similar definition, but it's slightly different. It means characterized by small up and down vibrations, also used to describe an earthquake. Succussory has one S at the beginning, two C's for the K sound, and then two S's. In addition, you can have a different type of curveball, which is a CE, a S sound. Incessant has CE and SS. That's related to the word cease, like cease fire. Cessation is the process of stopping something. Incessant means it's continuing without interruption. And you can also have a word like centurion, an officer commanding 100 soldiers. Just like the word century, a period of 100 years. Let's practice this a little bit. This is an opportunity for you, viewers, to play along to this video. I'll tell you the pronunciation of the word and what it means, and you can pause the video right there and try to spell it before I show you the actual spelling. Medusa, a mortal gorgon whose head was cut off by Perseus. The word Medusa, pause it right there if you want to give yourself some time to think, is spelled M-E-D-U-S-A. Pestilent. This is an adjective. It means fatal or deadly. Pestilent is spelled like this. This also has an S. The next word is benefice, an ecclesiastical office to which a revenue from an endowment is attached. Benefice. That's spelled like this. Here you have a CE. That's a departure from the S of the previous two words. The next word is a kind of cloud. Cirrus. A curl like a tuft or tendril in the literal meaning, or a white puffy cloud. Cirrus is spelled C-I-R-R-U-S. Fallacy. Something deceptive or a false appearance. Fallacy is spelled with a C-Y for the C sound. Adolescence. This is a noun. It means broadly teenage years. Adolescence is spelled like this, with an SC at the beginning and a CE at the end. Now what about this one? Musitation. The movement of lips in speech, but without sound. Let's say if you are watching a show on the TV and you turn it on to mute, the lips are still moving, but you can't hear anything. That is spelled like this. Musitation, with two S's for the S sound. And then incessant, like I mentioned on the previous slide, is spelled like this. So next we come to the K sound, and then the Kwa. The K sound has a couple different ways that it can be spelled. All of them are united by the presence of at least one C. It's unlikely that you find a K in a word with Latin origin. That usually shows up more in words with a Greek origin, if at all. Over here, it can be as simple as just one C, like the word valedictorian, a student with the highest rank in a graduating class. You can also have a CC in words like excision, which means slaughter, or buccinators, thin muscles that form the walls of a cheek. You might notice that these two words have a X sound, like an X almost, where you have a K and then an S. So that might be one way to tell that it's a possibility for two C's in a row, although it can also be the case just like the words before, in the case of the word buckle. Buckle means relating to the cheek muscles. Occasionally you'll have a CH. Pulchritudinous means beautiful. Comes from pulcher, beauty. You also have the word calibius, bluish-black with a steely luster. That also has a CH. And then you occasionally have words with three consonants in a row. Polysaccharide, a type of carbohydrate. That comes from the roots poly, which means many, and saccharide, which means sugar. Notice the resemblance there. And then ide is like a chemical form ending. Basically, polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates that have multiple small parts attached together. Then you have Bacchus, the Greek god of wine, with a CCH. And then to the Qua sound, here's where it gets a little bit more simple. Qua is almost always spelled with a QU, and then whatever other verb the word wants. Aquiline means like an eagle, or hooked, like an eagle's beak. And that has a QUI. You also have the word quidnunc, who is a gossip, or a busybody. Notice there that the K sound, like just above, is spelled with just one C in the word quidnunc. Here's another opportunity to practice these sounds in some more Latin words. The first word is fecundity, fruitfulness. Fecundity is spelled F-E-C-U-N-D-I-T-Y. Here's a bit of a curveball for you. There's another word that could be confused with the word fecundity, which is facundity. It sounds pretty similar. This one, however, means eloquence. Facundity is spelled F-A-C-U-N-D-I-T-Y. So, There are often cases where you can make mnemonics for you to help figure out what word is which. In my case, I used to remember the distinction between these two by remembering the one-word definitions for the two. Fecundity is eloquence, and fecundity is fruitfulness. And associating the letter of the vowel with the definition. So the A is connected with the E, and the E is connected not with the E, but with the F. Sort of like a sequential alphabetical order thing, just in my head. You can make mnemonics as and when and as often as you need to help you remember these words for the purpose of spelling bees, and just for general vocabulary. It's really useful to know what these words mean, even with an inkling of SAT vocab or just sprinkle them in essays. The next word is occupancy. It means the condition of holding, possessing, or residing in. Occupancy is spelled like this. For the K sound, you have two C's. The next word means tearful or melancholy. Lachrymose. Lachrymose. This word is spelled like that. This one has a CH there. It comes from the root for tear. You'll notice that tear glands, however, in the anatomical sense, the lacrimal glands, those are actually spelled slightly differently. I'll leave it to you to look that up. The next word is sclerenchyma. Multiple components here. It means a protective or supporting tissue in higher plants. Sclerenchyma. That one's spelled like this. There are two parts here. One is chyma, which is like chyme or fluid, and the other part is sclerin. It's a layer, kind of like sclera in the lenses of your eyes. Sclerenchyma. So two K sounds, one at the beginning with a C, and then a K with a CH. Quiddity. An old feature or an eccentricity. Quiddity is spelled with a QU. Looks kind of like the word Quidditch, but this is something unique. The next word is equivalent. Equal in force or amount. And you probably know this one. Equivalent is spelled with an EQI, just like the word equal with an EQA. Alright. For a couple vowels here, you have the U sound, the U sound, the E sound, the I sound, and a bit of a departure, the X sound as a consonant. Let's take it from the top. The U sound is almost always going to be a U. The sound is in the word ooze, but ooze isn't really Latin. Over here you have words like rumor, acute, pusillanimous, rheumatism, has the U sound, and that one has an EU. Occasionally you'll have these vowels thrown in. Know that rheumatism, for example, comes from rheum, which is fluid, like the previous definition of synovial fluid that's in your joints. The X sound, like an exaggerate, an exiguous, an exit, you usually be able to hear is that sort of GZ sound, and that's pretty simple. It's gonna be the X. Nothing too complicated there in Latin. And then when you have the E sound, specifically at the end of plural nouns, you're going to have an AE. Like maxilla means your upper jaw. When you have multiple of those, you have maxillae, or maxilli. That's going to be with an AE. Just like algae in the ocean is going to have a GAE for the G sound. It's the plural of the singular of alga. I is another sound you might hear at the end of plural nouns, like an individual stimulus versus multiple stimuli. This is usually the pluralizing form in Latin when you have a US for the singular. The plural turns into an I sound. So stimuli, humuli are all going to be spelled with an I at the end, the letter I. Opportunities for your practice here. Latitudinarian. Being tolerant or broad-minded. That one's spelled like this. Looks like the word latitude, except a person. Cupreous, or cupreous, containing or resembling copper. That's spelled like this, C-U-P-R-E-O-U-S. Deuterium, or deuterium. This one is an isotope of hydrogen. Same atomic structure, different atomic weight. Deuterium is spelled with an EU. Executive. This is an adjective. It means active, effectual, or skillful in managing, directing, or accomplishing. Executive, just like noun form, is spelled E-X-E-C-U-T-I-V. Lamellae. This is a plural noun, and it means organs or parts like thin plates or gills. That one has an AE. It's a plural noun. The singular is just lamella, for one organ or part, like a gill. And then you have cocci. This is a bunch of spherical bacteria. That one's spelled like this. That has an I. In the definition box, you'll see the singular form coccus. This is something you'll notice when it comes to an infection that you might have heard about, like staphylococcus. You commonly call it staph, but staphylococcus is because if you look at these bacteria under the microscope, they look really spherical. They look like a bunch of berries. That's what coccus originally means. And here's some more practice for you. Campaign. A connected series of operations designed to bring about a particular result. It's spelled like this. This is slightly different. That one has a GN, but the A sound is going to have an A, and in this case an I. Ampullaceous, shaped like a flask. That one has two L's for the L sound. Vigentennial, occurring every 20 years. That one has two N's for the N sound. Vacary, a place where cows are kept. Two C's here for the K sound, V-A-C-C-A-R-Y. And consign, to give over to another's charge, custody, or care. That's spelled like this. And that is the end of the Latin workshop. Thanks for watching this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.